Okay, we're back for game two of Modern between Josh Grace and Oliver King. Oliver's on the bottom of the screen and Josh is on the top. Josh took down game one with his Esper gifts, and so Oliver's going to be on the play for game two.
That he did. We did see a bit longer of a sideboard in between these matches, which we sort of expected would happen just because the complexity of these decks, and also the learning curve. I know for Oliver. Yes, Oliver as well.
You can see Josh has kept a four-lander with a detention sphere, that lingering souls that we spoke about in another Jace. Yeah, you would imagine here that he has a white heavy detention sphere and lingering soul. So detention sphere will take is another kind of removal spell, I guess.
Yeah.
If Iona names black, but I wonder if he's got any white based graveyard hate that he can bring in. I mean, he has access to things like Grafdigger's Cage, which is colorless, or Relic of Progenitus.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I understand, something like a oh, no, sorry, I've got them around the wrong way. The detention sphere is from Josh, and Josh has the lingering souls. Yeah, so because Oliver plays the lingering souls as well, so we're going to get another look at Josh's hand here.
Yes, we are.
There's a Goryo's Vengeance, so you can see it's a quite a heavy graveyard theme going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver, in his colours, is probably looking at Grafdigger's Cage or a Relic of Progenitus. So I don't really, I'm not that familiar with Josh's deck, so I'm not sure how it works if the graveyard is shut off.
What did he get rid of?
Goryo's Vengeance.
Okay.
So another line that's open here for Josh is to resolve that Jace Vryn's Prodigy. He can then use Jace to loot, and he would loot away not an Emrakul. He can't loot Emrakul, but a value target, and
Okay.
then flashback Goryo's Vengeance on the same turn. Use Goryo's Vengeance to flash the target back.
So that's the tough thing about, having the Thoughtseize against a deck like this. He's just feeding him plays for mid to late game.
Yeah, but this all relies, of course, upon Jace actually surviving a turn.
Correct.
Or either that or getting Unburial Rites into the graveyard.
I will mention again, plays a little bit slower in this match, but it's not any less exciting. There's so many things that are going on these turns.
I'm interested in this deck, so I'm just checking out the price. So Unburial Rites is a 10-cent card.
Really?
Yeah, and Gifts Ungiven. I know Iona is an expensive card. Yeah, Gifts is about a $4 card.
Okay.
I mean, Iona is obviously an all-star. It's about $9.
Okay.
But there's a number of different threats you could slot in that position. So he's just going about picking apart Josh's hand here. This time he makes him discard lingering souls.
Okay.
So he's still got his 4 cards will be Fatal Push, Jace, and 2 lands.
2 lands, correct. And one of them is a fetch land.
Yeah, and probably what's telling with 2 Inquisitions and a Thoughtseize down, he didn't take the Jace at any point, so you'd assume he's got probably a Fatal Push to answer that Jace.
He would have to. I was actually kind of wondering why he wasn't tossing the Jace away.
Yeah, we'll see it now at the end of turn, I'm sure. Yep,
there it is. There it is.
So now he's got him in a position. Oliver's down to 10 life, but Josh hasn't really got anything going on.
He hasn't, but he has life and card advantage at this point still.
And he can flashback the lingering souls from the graveyard.
He can.
But you see, if Oliver shocks himself here or not, will tell us how aggressive he's going to get.
Hmm.
Which he doesn't. So Death Shadow would be a 4/4 at this stage.
It's funny, you can almost see the smoke come out of that avatar's ears.
Oh, Liliana.
Okay.
Liliana, in a roundabout way, is an answer here because if he can pull off that
Yeah.
gifts combo again, Liliana can just minus on the Iona to get rid of the Iona.
And those discards are pretty brutal for him against Josh.
Yeah,
I mean,
we saw Josh. He had that detention sphere, which is gone now. Would have been an answer as well.
mhm.
But with two, he's down to 2 cards, so he's kind of in top deck territory.
Here comes the lingering soul flashback.
Lingering Souls is a bit of a nuisance for Oliver's deck to deal with because by themselves they're just crappy little 1/1s, but he doesn't play any sweepers. So
Right,
he's going to be using spot removal to take down a 1/1.
right. And even when he gets that massive creature out, those 1/1s can be used to trump him.
And we've only seen one Lingering Soul, so you'd probably assume there's more in there.
Mm-hmm.
So he pluses Liliana. Josh discards a Marsh Flats, and Oliver discards a Thoughtseize.
So he discarded the Thoughtseize. Would would you have? I mean, if you were in Oliver's position, would you have played the Thoughtseize and then used Liliana's ability? Oh, I guess not, because he has that one card he seems to be holding on to, right?
Sorry, I missed that. My dog was wanting
No, no, no.
inside.
It's okay. I was saying if you were in Oliver's shoes, would you have not played the Thoughtseize before using Liliana's ability? But I just realized he must have one very important card in hand that he's waiting for the right time to play, and that's why he wouldn't have done that
Yeah, that's right.
because he's holding that single card there. Um, it wouldn't make any sense because I would have thought seized and then discarded, which would have put me above the other player, or at least more even in card power.
Yeah, and Josh is in a position now. He's got 2 cards in hand. Um, he can get a gift son given off the top, and kind of be in the position to get his winning combo down immediately. So
Hmm.
so Liliana doesn't really matter anymore at this stage.
So, long story short, we're watching essentially without penning a miracle. We're watching a slow death against Oliver or on Oliver at this point.
Well, it's kind of an interesting thing with this Death Shadow deck because I think Oliver would have, if he had a threat, he would have dropped it by now. But
Hmm.
because he's already, destroyed the hand of Josh, and so even though Josh is in a position where, yeah, actually, just for a second there, he didn't plus to Liliana at the previous turn, so that tells me
Okay,
the 2 cards he has he wants to keep. He's down to 1 card
correct.
now.
And he was holding. I think he was holding that fatal push for a different play. Maybe I'd be reaching. I have no idea what
Yeah,
what he was.
no, he's got 2 valuable cards in his hand,
Oh.
and this card is a killer.
Hmm.
Without access to white, it's very difficult to deal with. I'll just zoom in on that. So when it enters, he does target opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. At the
Hmm.
beginning of your end step, it exiles.
Yep.
And then
And
at the
keeps coming
beginning of
back
your
in.
next step, it comes back with haste. Yep.
Right. Continuing to give him more life and remove life from Oliver.
Yeah, so I think this one is done. I mean, Oliver's in a position here where he needs a threat right now because Obsidat's going to come back, put him to 5 and have haste, which would be lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Oliver's just been unlucky. He just hasn't found a Tarmogoyf for a Death Shadow.
Right.
Death Shadow will be
Right.
6/6 and has the Obsidat covered here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also that inevitability. Obsidat coming and going in each turn, chipping away at 2.
Right.
Again, Oliver's in this position where he's got those 2 cards. And now 1 card because of the bauble. He doesn't necessarily want to plus the Liliana.
And why would you say? Oh, because he might want to keep that card in his hand. I keep.
Yeah, if he pluses, he has to discard it. Because Josh is sitting over there with 1 card in his hand he's had for quite some time, but he's just done nothing with, so it's not really clear what it is.
Okay, so now.
And so here's the lethal on board. This is going to do 2 damage, plus it's got haste.
Right.
So Oliver needs something right now that can kill Obsidat. He's probably hoping to find it with the bauble.
Right.
Oh,
He hasn't.
I was going to
really.
say, what's he doing?
Yeah.
He was going.
And is there an answer? Is this it?
See if he's got a removal spell. He doesn't, so 2
No, he
to
doesn't.
Josh for modern.
Wow.